All right, we live. We live. What's the deal? I gotta put on my fake. What's the you know what I'm saying? But nah. Hey, what's up? It's Joey, aka Joey Origami, aka the greatest rapper alive, aka your friendly neighborhood goat, aka the godfather of anime, aka good game origami because boy, do I have some good game for you. And this is the Saturday morning show because it's Saturday and it's the morning. But nah, this is where I will be dedicating time and energy to simply running my mouth and speaking my mind and thinking and talking and reflecting and doing all that. Honestly, this is becoming my preferred way of socializing with the masses or socializing with the masses via the internet. So I say that to say that I'm mostly going to be on Twitch and YouTube. So why not serialize it? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, every Saturday, I'm going to have the Saturday morning show where I just talk. There may be structure, there may be chaos. Either way, there will be an episode. You know what I'm saying? And this is the first episode after the test episode. So I actually did a live last Saturday where I kind of like did like a test run of kind of like doing this and seeing like how it go. And this is confirmation that it went well. But yeah, enough about episode 0. This is the first episode. So welcome all. There is something sweet about like talking to yourself. So this is a talk show where I talk to myself. Like I am my guest. So there's no guest, there's no chat. Well, there is a chat. You just can't see it. I can see it. I just won't be acknowledging it really unless something very moving is said or reminding. If something reminding is said, I'll definitely acknowledge that. I'm not finna just, not give you your credit. But yeah, this is mostly just me like talking at you. Uh it's kind of like connected to the live streams that I have. Not separate from it, but just a place where I compartmentalize, I believe is the correct term to use, or where I get specific. And this is the time just for me to talk about whatever. But the live streams are where I'll be engaging more with. So this is more like me talking at you, and the live streams are me like talking with you or acting with you, more activity based. I'll be playing a game, I'll be reading comics and stuff. Not here, unfortunately. So if you came for that, uh, hopefully you'll stay for this. Um, but yeah, what's new? Fresh out of a blizzard, right? Hopefully things are heating up, weather wise, literally. But hopefully things are heating up life wise too, man. Looking for some excitement. You know what I'm saying? Life is dull as fuck right now. And that's fine. That's super fine. Because I feel like something is about to come up. I am going to DreamCon in July. So that's something to look forward to. But I don't know. I feel like life and the weather is going to be warming up here soon. So we just have to be patient for that. But speaking of DreamCon, though, um, I mentioned it in episode 0, but I said enough about episode 0. This is episode 1. Oh, yeah. Welcome to episode 1 of the Saturday morning show. Saturday morning show. Something like that. But yeah, I'm going to DreamCon and I'm kind of excited for this year because one, this is going to be a year where I get to go back and reunite, I guess is the only word I can think of. Reunite with people that I met the previous year. Because it's the first time I'll be going in concurrent years. Uh, two, I'm definitely going to cosplay and hopefully multiple days. So I'm excited to start getting my cosplay together. I'm gonna keep y'all noted on that. I should make like I have this idea of like making a cosplay bingo card where I like make like a bingo card, of course, and the names of like anime characters are in the spot, and see if I can like find people who cosplay as them and take pictures with them. I should do that. I should make that a thing. Like a cosplay bingo. Go to conventions and play cosplay bingo. Uh and you find these anime characters or people cosplaying as them and you take pictures of them. Or with them. With them is probably less creepy. Maybe I'll be playing cosplay bingo at DreamCon. But yeah, I'm going to DreamCon. Got my tickets. Definitely got my tickets. Need to get my room and board and transpo. I think I'm going to fly. I drove last year and boy, I almost died because I drove alone. But if anyone is seeing this uh, and you're going to DreamCon and you know me personally, I guess I should add, let me ride with you. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? We can both drive type shit. Uh, but nah, I'll be there one way or another. I was just thinking about how like during these lives, in contrast to like music, um, where I tend to hyper focus on a certain attribute or emotion or approach or identity or action or whatever, hyper focus and blow that up and stay in that like mode or like mood or like persona uh with my music. But on this it's kind of like free flowing, so you kind of get to see like all of my quirks, which is extremely vulnerable. But that's cool though, type shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it will lead to a greater understanding. We can only hope, right? But yeah, I say that to say I'm talking about DreamCon. I'm like, damn, super big nerd, like for sure. Like if you already here, you probably already know that. But If you find this, it's just like, bro, I didn't know he was nerdy. Yeah, man, I'm primarily a nerd. And that's about like a lot of things. Like, yeah, I like anime and like I like gaming and stuff. So that makes sense of why I go to DreamCon. But like I'm also like super fascinated with film and movies. Right? Like I feel like okay, before I go any further, I feel like this needs to be discussed. Let me put a pin in this. I'm gonna put a pin in that because I'm gonna come back to it. But due to the conflation of words and improper usage of language, we often confuse things, including the words nerd, geek, dork, and loser, right? These words are often conflated and associated because they're so close to each other. Granted, I'll admit, usually if you're one, you're often more of the others, if not all of them, unfortunately. But that is not always the case, and it's not a guarantee because they are separate and distinct words. So I'm about to break down the differences between being a nerd, a geek, a dork, and a loser. So check me out. All right. I'm trying to gather my so I can cleanly. All right. We often conflate these words again, but here I go. Here's the difference between being a nerd, a geek, a dork, and a loser. Because they are very similar and often conflated because they're so close to each other, but they're not the same thing and aren't necessarily associated. So check me out. A nerd is just someone who loves something so much that they're hyper passionate about it. Like it's all they think about, it's all they care about, it's all they want to do, it's all that they participate in. And they study it because they obsess over it. That's all a nerd is, right? It doesn't matter what it is. It could be science, it could be comics, it could be history, it could be sports, it could be the news, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. They are just passionate about it and obsessed with it. So they're very focused. Um, a geek, right, is someone who is enthusiastically into something and they want to share that excitement. They want you to be as excited as they are as with him about something. So they're passionate about something. So usually geeks are also nerds. You know what I'm saying? But this is the difference. It's more of a social thing instead of an objective thing. Um, Geeks want someone to share their excitement with. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A geek's energy is about connection and community. Like they're not just interested in their interested in they're not just interested in their interests. They want to celebrate them and show that they're interested in them with other people. Right? A dork, right? Now that's different. A dork is someone who is quirky and unapologetically themselves, right? See, a nerd is someone who is unapologetically interested in something, passionate about that thing, but that's where it stops. A dork is someone who is unapologetically themselves, quirks and all, out loud. So that could include showcasing their interest and or not. You know what I'm saying? But that's what makes a dork a dork. You know what I'm saying? They laugh loud. They snort when they laugh because they don't hold back snorting. You know what I'm saying? And they never hide attributes about them. Whether they knowingly or unknowingly know that it's considered odd or weird or quirky. A dork is just themselves unapologetically. In whatever space. It doesn't matter the interest space either. A dork can exist in anywhere. That's just what classifies them as a dork. And then you got the loser. You know what I'm saying? So we got the nerd, we got the geek, we got the dork. And we've learned what those three things are. And they're often associated with each other and associated with the word loser. But none of those or all three of those things qualify someone as being a loser. See, this is what a loser is, right? A loser is someone who resents their quote unquote difference. That's what a loser is. In one sentence, a loser is someone who resents their quote unquote difference. But to take it further, they're the kind of people who envy other people because what the other person has grants them access to something they want, and what they have, quote unquote, does not or has not yet. Um, which makes them resent their difference, quote unquote, difference. They also envy people who willingly accept who they are, whether they're granted access or rewarded anything at all. People who simply are in acceptance of whatever they are frustrate people who are losers. But the people who they envy the most. Who they envy the most. Are people who are exactly who they say they are and get celebrated for it as well. So the first one, there's envy of people who are embraced or celebrated, whether that person is being honest about it or not. Whatever tactics they're using to get embraced by people, losers envy that. Then they envy people who just accept who they are and are happy or glad to be who they are. They envy those people because deep down they aren't glad to be themselves. So they dislike people who are able to experience that. Then they are envy of people who are a mix of that. People who are exactly who they say they are and get celebrated for it. When I'm over here feeling how I'm feeling, being who I am, not getting celebrated for it, or having to hide who I am, or complain about this and that because I feel like I'm not winning, it's because I'm a loser. Those are losers. Often losers are nerds, geeks, and dorks. Maybe not dorks, but often nerds and geeks. Sometimes all four. But these are four different types of people. And I feel like it's important to know the distinction when using this language. Because it's like, bruh, it's some losers out here. And they're not nerds. And they're not geeks. They're not dorks. But they are losers. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be with the nerds, the geeks, and the dorks. Yeah. Now, what were we talking about? Before I went off on that rant, yo. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely a nerd. And I think I'm a geek. Not sure if I'm a dork. Maybe at times I can be dorky. Not sure if I am a dork, though. I ain't no loser. But I am a nerd and a geek. And one of the things that I nerd about and geek about is movies and film. That's where we were. I recently saw the Pharrell Lego documentary. What a beautiful movie, film, documentary, animation, cartoon, musical, music video, all of the above. I was watching it on Netflix with my sister. And I was just like, wow. You just never know the journey. You know what I'm saying? And it's always good to know the journey. Even if you know parts of the journey, you never know the whole journey. I still don't know the whole journey, but I know a bigger spread of it. And I'm just like, wow, what a inspiring story you're living. You know? It was cool that it was animated and that it was like Legos and cool way to display how colorful it is, but what an inspiring story you're living. And that's super cool in itself to you just telling your story of how you lived your life up until this point and people get inspired by it. People get motivated by it. People get jobs off of it. Honestly though, and it was just like beautifully told, inspired the fuck out of me for sure. But it's just like it's just crazy to think like that wasn't your motive behind making the choices, the steps, the footsteps you took to get where you are. You were aiming for something, and yet this was the byproduct as well. Is your life inspired people without you necessarily having to pick up a pen and write that down. You lived art. You lived a work of literature that can be passed down and used to elevate people. What an interesting form of creation that I don't think we often recognize is how the method and the lens in which we live our life through is also a form of art, and it impacts people. Whether we document our stories or not, and it's becoming more popular to self-document, clearly. But I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing just yet. But isn't it cool how living your life creates these ripples in this pond? You know, making honest, genuine decisions originating from your own personal desires. And then 30 years later, when you compile them, it creates a story that moves people to action, to tears, to creativity. Why don't we recognize the art of living more? That's super cool now that I think about it. What an opportunity. But yeah, shout out to Pharrell though. That movie was beautifully done, bro, and your story is amazing, yo. Your story is super cool. I feel like I was watching the origin story of a superhero, whether it was the Legos or not. It was just like, yo, how much power does this guy have in his aspirations? Your aspirations are an inspiration. Seriously. Uh, but yeah, if you haven't seen Piece by Piece, the Pharrell Williams documentary, animated like a Lego movie, you should go watch it for sure. Especially if you're an artist, especially if you're a creative, especially if you're a passionate person about something you're passionate about, especially if you're a nerd, right? Wink, wink. Uh, but yeah, but here's a movie you probably have seen. Ryan Coogler's Ryan Coogler's back. Fuck. The thing about this is you gonna get these bloopers too because I'm not cutting any of this out. I'm just gonna post it on YouTube. Oh yeah, this is also gonna be on YouTube. So for everyone who misses the lives on Saturday, you'll be able to also watch and rewatch the Saturday morning show episodes on YouTube. So yeah, like I was saying, I'm not deleting any of that. Ryan Coogler's Black Panther is one of the greatest films, yes, superhero movies Yes, predominantly black movies. Yes, black directed, right? Movies. But yes, Marvel movies. But film, period, cinematically, this is one of the greatest movies ever. What a beautiful movie, right? And this was also mentioned in episode 0, but I kind of wanted to reiterate. Um, that movie should be a benchmark for cinematography. It should be a standard for cinematography, amongst other things. But yo, Ryan Coogler, hats off to you as a filmmaker, as a director, as a whatever else you are, but mostly those things. Because wow, what a masterpiece you created with that film, yo. Um, but more specifically, there was a scene that was incredibly powerful that I think doesn't get the recognition that it deserves, honestly. And it was the scene where T'Challa revisited the ancestral realm and goes to confront his father and vent to him and express to him and all of the above. He goes to speak to his father about these things that have been weighing on him and that he's been encountering and how to deal with him. And he was just like, his father said to him, "You're a good man. It's hard for a good man to be king." And that's just one of the many of the massive gems that were dropped in this scene. The entire scene itself was beautiful, beautifully crafted, beautifully presented. But the messages that were pushed in this scene, explored, confronted, and resolved, were amazing. They were beautiful, especially if you're a man, especially if you're a black man, especially if you're a black father or a black man with people depending on him or people that you're guiding, or you're the reverse. You're a black son or a black dependent or a black person aspiring to be a man. And you're looking up to someone or you're receiving a torch being passed down to you. That entire scene, that entire interaction between T'Challa and T'Chaka was such an announcement, was such a hey, listen to this, was such a eye-opening interaction between a father and a son, and a great example, especially a black father and son, especially as a black man receiving counsel from your black father, whether he was dead or not. You know what I'm saying? But that the fact that they did it there after his death was like, it made it like mystical and stuff, and it, whatever, superhero movie. But that scene is one of my favorite scenes in movies ever. So if you've never seen that scene or you don't remember really paying attention to the scene, it's a simple scene, powerful one. Go listen to what they're saying and go pay attention to what's being asked and what's being responded, what's being reassured, what's being confirmed between this father and son. What a display of healthy dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Whether they were royalty or not. You know what I'm saying? Whether this was a Marvel movie or not, whether they had superpowers or not. 10 out of 10. Ryan Coogler. 10 out of 10, Ryan Coogler. I need a soundboard. Y'all gonna see a soundboard soon. Y'all gonna hear a soundboard soon. Or both. Hear and see. But yeah, I love the Black Panther. When that came out, man, I must have seen it like 8 times in theaters. Speaking of came out, though, J. Cole recently released his alleged final album, right? That's my dog, bro. I can't say that I've listened to the entire album yet. I think I left off on track 9 or 10 on the second album, but it's J. Cole, man. I'm not finna like rate the album or tell you like is this or that, but it's J. Cole. I'll listen to it. I'll be sure to probably listen to the songs again. Of course, it's J. Cole. But I also will say that I don't know. As an artist, I have a difficult time critiquing other artists' work, whether it's a work of art or not. So it's just like, bro, I'm just gonna enjoy it or not, bro. If I don't like it, I don't like it. Does that mean it's bad? No. Does that mean I think it's bad? Maybe, more than likely, but not always either. It just means I don't like it or I'm not enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's the point of the art, is to not enjoy something. So maybe that means it's good. You know? So it's just like I don't like criticizing art, especially music, because music is such a near and dear, close thing to my trajectory that I tend to not be a music critic, because I'm more interested in being a music creator than a critic. So, yeah, I listen to it. I'm also being less interested in being a consumer. Like, I'm more interested in being a producer creatively, whether it's music or other things. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Like I was saying, as I become more passionate about creating and learning how to create in more ways, I'm becoming less of a consumer, man. I want to be a producer of all things, of anything, of everything. And that gives me less space to be fulfilled or find enjoyment or entertainment even and simply consuming. You know? Like I was telling someone, I've been to many concerts now. I'm interested in being the concert now. I've listened to lots of music now. And I've made lots of music too. I'm interested in solely making music now and not listening to it. You know, I probably will, of course, but I'm not that interested as I am in doing the other. And if it came to deciding between one or the other, If it was like, would you either never listen to music again, or never make music again? I choose to never listen to music again. I'd simply make it. This is the point I'm trying to make. It's like, bro, I'm becoming so much interested in creating that consuming is becoming something that's difficult to do, you know, because it's becoming disruptive of my creative process. Well, at least the part that I like the most, and that's actually doing it. Of course, it's probably inspiring to consume other creations and other people's creativity, but it's just like it's just not something I'm the most interested in. I'm not saying I'm about to stop doing it cold turkey. That's, I think, unlikely and highly so. But that's just how I've been feeling lately. But yeah, I just had to pee like really bad. So that's why I had to run out on you guys. But like I said, I'm not editing any of this out. So cheers to a first episode of me running off camera already, right? I can't stay still for the love of God. Do you love God? Because I'm a shooting that's on God. I don't play about my Lord and Savior. But I say all that consumer and producer shit to then also say, if there's anything I enjoy consuming right now, is video games. Been getting back into just playing video games. Such a pastime that I always enjoy doing. That I, for a while, didn't have the availability to do so willy nilly. And maybe I shouldn't say willy nilly. That makes it seem irresponsible. But I just didn't have as much availability to play the game as much as I like, and I do now. So I've been getting back into a lot of gaming stuff. I got a PC, gaming PC. Well, I got a PC now that I use mostly for gaming. So I've been getting into a lot of PC games and learning keyboard and mouse, and it's been such a thrilling experience, man. Really enjoy gaming. I always say I'm more of a casual gamer. I'm not very competitive, but I can be when I want to be. But yeah, definitely been getting back into gaming, and one of the things that I've recently been playing is our graders. Like I said, I'm definitely a nerd. In this game, this is a fun game. I need to put some more time into this game, but if you have not played Arc Raiders and if you're like on the fence about it or like interested in it, but waiting to get some affirmation, this is me telling you, go ahead and get that Arc Raiders, man. Um, it's actually a pretty fun game. It's a cool shooter. It's a cool multiplayer game. It's a cool. I never played extraction shooters before. If you have, then it's probably something you're familiar with. If you haven't, it's be an exciting new genre to explore. I can say it has been for me. Um, it's a nicely paced game when it comes to mechanics and gameplay, especially for it to be an online multiplayer and a shooter. It's paced so relaxing. It's actually kind of a chill game to play, even when you PvP. Even when you're shooting at other players, it's kind of like in a chill way. Even when you fighting like arc enemies, it's kind of like a chill kind of like intensity. Like you really just out here exploring, bro, just grabbing what you need and getting out of there. So I give it an 8.5 out of 10. If you never play Arc Raiders, you definitely should play Arc Raiders. But yeah, one of my uh, one of my New Year's resolutions as a person, yes, but as a nerd and a black nerd, is to start, catch up, and or finish a long list of anime that has been building up for quite some time now. And I plan to do so, as well as discuss and to talk about it with people. So yeah, I'm gonna be hearing me talk more about anime uh, on my live streams, on the Saturday morning shows, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever we are. Who knows with this TikTok fiasco going on? Wherever I post my little short clips of me just saying shit, I'll be talking more about it with the community of the interweb. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, including comics and video games that I haven't started or finished, or both. So yeah, check me out on that. And be as well as any like hot takes or like opinions. I'm gonna be on here like really like running my mouth. You just don't know the way I move so fast across the float. You know what I'm saying? A little bow wow out here. You're not ready for that type of behavior. Speaking of little bow wow, actually, I don't, I don't think that was a. I don't think that was a segue that I was trying to use. I don't know why I said speaking of little bow wow. Sorry, it must have lost my. It must have left my entire brain. But that happens on the Saturday morning show sometimes, buddy. Um, I've really been I've really been into chicken and waffles lately. And there's this place in my hometown, and if you're from Kansas City, then you know there's this place in my hometown called Niecy's. And I went there the other day for chicken and waffles. And honestly, it was such a beautiful African American, relaxing experience. So I'm currently thinking about chicken and waffles. Uh, as many times as I've been to Los Angeles, I've never been to Roscoe's, and I regret it so much, and I regret it every time I'm leaving. Um, but one day I will try Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles. But it makes me also want to just travel the country for the best plate of chicken and waffles anywhere. I want to travel the world or the country to find the best. chicken and waffles that there is uh, offer. Seriously, that money can buy, or that my money can buy. I wanna find my favorite chicken and waffles. I actually really like chicken and waffles. I like to eat them together. You know what I'm saying? Wings, tenders, Belgian waffles, flat waffles, shit, Eggo waffles. I like chicken and waffles. The combination is amazing, especially if the chicken is seasoned correctly to match the taste of maple syrup. Stop playing with it. But yeah, I may actually go and get, if I still have time and skin the clock, I may actually go get chicken and waffles right after I do this. I'm not even playing around with you. You know what I'm saying? It's done. As soon as I get done running my mouth with you guys, I may go chicken and waffle it up at Niecy's. If you're ever visiting Kansas City and looking for a nice plate of chicken and waffles, go to Niecy's. I may be returning in future episodes to tell you about more places to grab chicken and waffles. Who knows? But yeah, this was episode 1 of the Saturday morning show. And I am your host, Joey Origami, aka the greatest rapper alive, aka your friendly neighborhood goat, aka the godfather of anime, aka good game origami, because boy do I have some good game for you. And this was episode 1. And definitely what you can expect more of every Saturday morning in the future. Because it is Saturday and it is the morning. And this is the Saturday morning show. So yes, I appreciate you. Follow me and Watch Safe Point on both Twitch and YouTube. Subscribe even. And yeah, I'll see you next Saturday. Peace.